Welcome back to another edition of Construct and Chat. My name is Alex, and today's guest is another talented videographer and also a business owner. Please help me welcome Daniel into the podcast. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good. So you've seen a couple episodes of Construct and Chat.
I did.
How do you feel about it so far?
It's cool. It's really different taking interviews. I like it.
Oh, awesome. So today, I don't know if, obviously you're familiar with the show, but basically what the show is about is we construct this Lego set, which is 2 Formula One cars. I know your passion for cars.
Yeah.
I did my homework.
Yeah.
You have a lot of passions for cars.
Yeah.
You work on cars.
I do a lot.
How often do you work on cars?
Naturally, once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week.
Do you do work on your own car, or do you do?
Yeah. The own car, exhaust, tailpipe if I have to, air swaps sometimes. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I'll do.
Okay. Also, when we're constructing, we're also going to be chatting with you about how your upbringings, I know you're like into the videography. We'll get into like how you got into it, and then what your hopes and futures and aspirations are for going forward with that. You ready to construct
Let's do it.
and chat? You get it?
Yeah. I get it.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Usually I have the guests build something while I chat with them, but
Yeah.
for this episode, I will be joining in on the building and we will be chatting at the same time. Can you do do both at the same time?
Okay.
Or is that okay?
Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. So when did your, when would be your first time taking an interest in videography?
You know, that's a very long answer, but I'll try to make it short for me.
No. You take all the time you need.
So I would say even as a kid watching, I think when I moved to my hometown Avon, a lot of anime watching, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, really was my passion. And then I would say when I got a bit older, I got into watching a lot of TV shows like Adrian Monk on USA Network.
Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah.
Oh my
that was a
gosh.
good show. Graceland, Fireflies. What I was watching it too. A lot of like Vampire, Buffy, I think called something of that. Charmed, French Prince of Bel-Air, from like all those shows. I was really attuned to those type of like sitcoms, drama, all those. But I never really like thought, oh yeah, that's my passion. It wasn't until I'd say I got like high school and college where I got into really watching a lot of YouTube reviews, but more importantly, how the story was taking place. A lot of stories that I just find interesting. I really loved how they were to tell a story, a linear story that made you guess. Primarily, Lord of the Rings was I was like, I want to say 8 years old, and I remember watching Bilbo like why didn't you just take a hawk over the mountain and just throw a volcano? But they didn't do that. So even like a Harry Potter was also my go-to. Even now, I'll go home and put a whole marathon and watch it for like a whole week and just call it a day.
Okay.
Harry Potter too is like, there's certain shows, movies that I gravitate toward. I'm glued to it, and I'm just like zoned in to a story, how it's made, the actors, the characters, and there's so many themes that you can pull from a project that is just glued to you. One of the things that I started doing when I first got into like actually wanted to make films was definitely understand the theme a director, writer was looking to portray. a lot of times we don't notice it in movies or TV shows, but there's a theme in there. Lord of the Rings has a huge themes in it. Harry Potter does too. Walking Dead. There's so many projects that has ideas about whether it's middle class, whether it's vampires or werewolves or and such. And when we, as the audience, take the time to look into it, it's very profound, like thinking how they took the time to really look at it. You know, that's what I look about movies. That we got into it from there, really.
So your interest early on was like developing your own story and theme when it comes to making your own like films and like,
Oh, yeah.
other projects.
Oh yeah, heavy on that.
Yeah. So I know you went to school in, I believe, Massasoit.
Yeah.
What did you study there? And my second question is, what were you still interested in the animation / videography portion of that?
Yeah, so I went to school for art, primarily animation. I wanted to be an animator and making animation stories. I actually took a break from that, you know, and I was given advice, I would say, to find your backup plan when you are going into the world of art, because as you know, art is a very broad answer, a broad field, whether it's music, TVs, movies, writing, very broad topic. And when I was in Massasoit, I had these great ideas of projects, but didn't have the confidence to really pursue them. And so I just put them in a back burner of ideas. But as you know, ideas tend to hold me back and say, hey, remember me?
Yeah.
You want to, you know, like, I don't know, but let's do it. And so one thing that my ideas that I just really wanted to just do was I have a book that I'm working on as well that has been there in my head for at least 20 years. And so I'm at a point now where I have the confidence in myself to just go out and produce or write that project and just do it. And I realized when I had the ideas, when you overthink it, plug for Geo, we tend to think ourselves out in making those projects because we think it's too much or overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it keeps myself blurring.
You graduated from Massasoit, right?
I'll be graduating this semester, actually.
Oh, that's right, because you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
right. That's right. And you studied that on your Massasoit days.
Yeah.
We'll fast forward. You transferred to Bridgewater State.
Yeah.
What made you? Because I know you didn't study that film production until you made the switch.
Yeah. So post COVID, I was still a house studies major. So quick story, I was a teacher in martial arts for 12 years. Technically it was 10 years, 4 with a student, 10 for teaching, but I got 12 for martial arts. In martial arts was my prime, really, my prime passion. Working out, sparring, training. You know, I've met many actors, martial artists who were in the game of film, that it was like a nugget right under the layer. Like, oh, he's an actor. Oh, I've taught. He's acting now. Oh, he did this now. That's great. You know, I've met many actors. Michael J. White. I've met Barry Owens. I almost met, what was his name? The actor's name. I almost met Scott Adkins once. Almost dead at a tournament, but he didn't go.
Oh.
I've met many people who were in stunt coordination who just, you know, that was really, really well. One of the actors, I know who did Black Panther, I saw him before, but way before he started doing stunts. He was a black belt, just training like hard in tournaments. Now he's big now. I've met people who were doing Captain America. I've met him, his stunt double long before he was doing it now. So people who I've known in the field were in film when I was teaching. But even then, I was thinking about being filmed. I was thinking about being a fitness instructor and such. And definitely had like this idea of like, okay, I'll be an artist and then I'll be martial on the side and I'll do that. And the reason why I picked Bridgewater, because a lot of my colleagues went to BSU, had these great stories of how it's a good school, education is great, the departments had valid repertoires, and I wanted to utilize that to my benefit.
Right. And I think what kind of triggered me to make that switch was kind of like, for me, it was like a leap of faith, because I didn't think, switching from what I was studying before to going into film, I was like, maybe this might not work out, maybe not.
Yeah.
Was that any doubts in your mind when you made that switch? Like maybe this could be a setback, or maybe this might not work out?
For me, it wasn't a setback. It's more of like oh wait, this was the plan all along. Because like I said before, there was so many nuggets leading me to film that I didn't realize, oh, it was this the whole time. Let's go back into it and go do it. I would say it's more of like, I waited so long to finally change. It's like, oh wait, it is worth to do that? Where I'm really doing this degree. You know what, F it. I'm just gonna go full hard and just go for it. And even now, it's like I have so many ideas now. It's like, no phone, no take, do it now. This and go for it, or just find the answer and go for it. Realistically, and it's funny because during COVID, I was watching an interview with late Chadwick Boseman. I forget it was him or someone else, but he was talking about, if you were on your deathbed and all of your past ideas can haunt you, would you regret not doing them? And that sort of made me push me to like, I should do my product ideas and do them now, because there's so many ideas that I have in my head. It's like between books, movies, content, it's like I need to get these out. On my head, like way probably gets going crazy, man.
Yeah.
But that has been my motivation, my passion. Is I've just getting them out there for the world to see. Because there's great ideas that just people don't go off, or they don't do it. Because some way or the other, the universe will have someone else do it for you. Like, man, for me, or why me? Why not me? So that's always been my rule about that too. Because there was a TV show that came out during COVID called Love County. When I tell you that sequence in my head, I'm like, wait a second, that's my idea. It's on TV now. That's crazy. And it's just like, you gotta put it through.
It's like you see your own like creations of sort and be like, I could have thought of that. I could have been that person to come up with that. I wanted to talk to you about also, you talk about coming up with ideas. Do you also think about like having a team with you, or just who you can call on, be like, hey, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about that? Would you help me out with this? Would you help me out with that?
Oh yeah.
Can you talk to me about like what, how important that is to have that system of like, or a group of people to like help your ideas come to life? Is it important to have that?
Definitely is. So during COVID, when I had that whole interview, I had this idea, this great interview, a good idea for a multi-purpose multi-purpose company that did all of it. So it was animation, live action, TV shows, podcasts, music, even like teaching or such, where everyone had, or the company had this pulse on entertainment that worked in a way where if you had a friend who had a company that only did production in animation, and they needed a sound team, they would hire you. Hey, can you help them? Like, yeah, we got you. But also, you know, it would be a self-productions team, so everything would be done in house. It wouldn't be done through entertainment. It wouldn't be through Enterprise. It wouldn't be done through Sun Network or anything. It would just be your very own team. For example, there's a movie that came out, I think two years ago, on Netflix called Old Guard. That was done through the author, through his own studio, but Netflix published the film. So, in my thinking, why not have a studio that self-publishes its own work and sends it out to other networks to put on for them? You know, kind of like A24, but more than that. You know, it's like, you got more than just buying film. You're actually distributing the films and owning the rights to them.
Yeah.
So the idea of a team was each department has its own works, but it's under the helm of this main house production studio that helms. I'll tell you, here, you're gonna do this, you do this over there, so over here you have your own work, and then you come in together and say, this is what we got for each department. What can we do with this? And that's always been my idea, or my structure, I would say, for it to work that way.
Then this is kind of like a layup question. I know you have your own company that you created.
I do.
You want to talk more about it, and how did you originate the name? What driven you to have? Why should this company like exist? Like, what is your future goals and aspirations for that company?
Yeah. So my company is called Thunder Visual Realm Studios, or TVRS. We primarily will be primarily in doing live action production and animation. Right now, I am in the works of producing a TV series, and that will be coming in 2027. And why I came up with a production studio, like I said before, I had these ideas that I just couldn't stop thinking about for like years. I mean, like,
I remember it because like every time I talk to you, it's just like, guess what? You need to read this script or listen to this idea. What do you think?
Yeah.
And I just love it because it's just like you have these ideas that spew each and every single day.
Yeah,
almost.
It just comes and I'm like, wait, what's this? What's that? Oh, looks like that too. And it's just interesting because literally from high school, I was just like writing notes here and there or drawing ideas for a character. And the height, really, I would say this. I was playing a video game called Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and I would use their software to make mods and characters. So I was building these characters I had in my head. As my followers, I would just help me aid in these my adventure in Skyrim.
Yeah.
And I remember this character. He was like a giant red guard with like teleport you out of thing, or like a character who was like only an archer character, like a self archer, or a tall tank. And that's what I always created when I was just at home doing my homework and it's playing it for like hours on hours. So it's things like that. I've been very unique and just wanted to explore my mind in a sense, because everything has always been just grow a story that is human.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, I got it. Sorry.
Penalty.
No, and I love the ideas that come out, or whenever you reach out, you have an idea. Do those ideas come from life experiences, or do they just are randomly generated?
Some are, not all of them. Like, I'd say about 10% are from experience, and then 30% are like just random thoughts, like ideas from anime or like movies that I've seen, and put that together. Honestly, like my TV series is based on the relationship I had in past relationship that I'm using as like I would say my own way of coping and closure, because there was no closure with that relationship that I had in the past. So that's my way of keeping myself to let go of something that I thought was real, and just putting that in a positive light that's not thrown away. And when I made my projects, and actually, funny enough, my book that I'm writing originally was supposed to be a Skyrim mod that I was going to make for it. But I was like, you know what? Let's make it into an actual book instead. And that's when that book, it just spun out into a whole series of its own thing, realistically, and I just went with it. And so that story is just on the ground right now. I'm almost done with it too. Oh, I'm done.
Yeah, this is a relatively small construction, because the past 2 episodes have been, I don't know if you witnessed it, have been complex, over 1,000 pieces, and it will always take us forever to build it. So I'm glad that
Gundams.
we finished this whole set right
vroom.
here. Vroom vroom, as Daniel would say. But we can still continue on with the chatting.
Definitely.
So, you told me everything about, talking about your history with videography, and how important is it to have a group of people supporting you in your journey? Because
very much.
for me, I'm reminded each and every time whenever I succeed in something and within that field, I'm always reminded, like, hey, these group of people have helped me and have cheered me on since the beginning. How important is it for you to have that receptive support while you're achieving your goals with the company? And
it's very important, because sometimes you can be in your head a lot and you're not thinking no one's there. They look back like, oh wait, they are there looking for me, supporting me, and just that remembering that they are there watching you, supporting you, praying for you, it's always been a reminder that you aren't alone in this, and no one's really alone. It's just their pride to know them. Oh, I did it myself, but it's not true. You had help, and your help is your friends and family, and so having that there really is what helps people achieve what you want to achieve. We have the power to really become who we want to be in our mind, and it's important that we allow ourselves to take the time to actually go for it and not be afraid about doing it. So it gives a much needed reminder that we got it.
Yeah. So you're set to graduate this coming May.
Yes.
What is your future aspirations?
So actually, I have recently applied for being a firefighter. So I will hopefully be doing that in the summer. That also means that I'll also be writing scripts as well. So I'll have 2 things on my plate this year. As of August, probably going to PR with my girlfriend. She wants to go there, so we're going to plan a trip there soon.
Yeah. And from what you've told me before, she's been your biggest supporter.
Oh, yeah.
Can you just talk about how important that is to have that person support you throughout everything you've done.
She has been my number one supporter. That's my mom. It's like a big support that I need in life right now. So just finishing up this is like I'm finally done. Like, I'm done. I can be an adult finally again, and start life. Start my chapter I have right now and go for it.
Yeah.
Really.
That's awesome. Do you have any like future? Like I know you talked about TVRS. Is there like who is in your team now, and like who do you think you're going to add on more people or?
For sure. Right now, the way that I explain it, I have partners and I have employees right now. I have more partners than employees, so I have, including you actually.
Yeah, I had to sign that contract. I remember you sent me that
Yes, you did.
screenshot, and I tried to sign it with my finger on an iPad. It did not turn out pretty. It was not pretty at all, but it was signed.
It was signed.
But I'm really excited to be a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You talk about who else is in that
I
as
got
well.
a friend Marvin who's a writer as well. I have a friend Anthony who's going to be a cinematographer. I have an old friend of mine from high school who I'm bringing along as well as a team member, a partner. Also be a DP as well for the team. And I have my friend Joanna, she's our animator on the team. So all together, looking at 5 people right now. It's small, but the goal is to have a 10 staff team, and then eventually go to a building, actually office building, looking to do in the future as well.
Okay. And do you have any upcoming projects that are currently coming up, or is it anything on the rise?
Right now, it is going to be just writing. I recently just finished the script. As you know, The War of Love will be premiering soon. At the moment, we are going to be rewriting and then casting the following year, and then shooting the next year. So it'll be 2027 will be the date for that movie to be putting out. And that'll be a TV series going up soon.
Okay. Well, usually in these things, we always have like a little time lapse when things get complicated, but I'm glad that we were able to complete this. We still got a lot of dialogue coming, but I guess my conclusion question for you would be, we have a lot of people that watch the show. What would be, and I always ask my guests this, what would be, I guess, their takeaway watching your episode? Like, what would be your message?
I would say, don't feel afraid to go for what you want to do in life, because sometimes that fear, that false evidence being real, can make you feel like you're stuck. And just actually say, you know what, take a small step, take a step forward, and another step, and another step, and another step, another step. Eventually, when you look behind you, you've passed a whole mile just because you took a step further. And that is probably the only way for you to really just, and say, F it, I'm going to take time and do it. Because even acknowledging that you want to do something is that further too. And so find the tools, the resources, the people, the friends, all of it helps, adds to it really. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, awesome. Any advice for, it's pretty much for people who are watching. What about specifically for people who are coming up in the videography world? What would be your advice to them as well? Would it be the same advice or?
Listen, when I say this clearly, man, take your time with it, have fun, and also be yourself. So I can say honestly.
All right. Well, this has been another edition of Construct and Chat. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching and being involved in the dialogue. Hope to see you guys in the next episode. Take care and thank you very much. Thank you.